Well, hello there. I want to talk to you again about EV cars and their batteries, and they don't seem to be giving you the range that they claim to. Now, there's a guy on the internet who had an American electric Mustang, and he went into one of these service stations to charge his car because it was down to 50%, and he wanted to do a long 210-mile journey. So he starts charging his car, and an hour and a half later, his battery is now 95%. Now, it's not a good idea to charge your car batteries to more than 80%, so they reckon, is so that you're not overcharging them, and then you don't want to drain it down below 20%. So you've really got a 60% window of your battery so that you get the best life out of it, or else it's going to cost you anywhere up to £60,000 to replace it. Anyway, getting on to this bloke and his journey, he charged his car to 95% after an hour and a half. He had a 220 mile range on his car, and he had a 210 mile journey. Well, you think, okay, he's got 10 miles spare. Anyway, he couldn't even get that far. He managed to do about 180 odd miles before he had to stop and recharge his car again. So that's not good, is it? It's just not practical these days. Now, if I drove down to see my dear old mother, she lives 250 miles away. So not only would I have to make sure that the car was fully charged, but I'd have to stop several times, probably twice maybe, to charge the car up. It's not. And of course, if you spend more than 2 hours in a service station on the motorway, you're going to get fined. So if you pull into one of those car parks with a number plate recognition across the top, and you've got to queue up for a charging point, then you get onto your charging point, and then you've got to spend an hour and a half charging your car. It's going to cost you 70 quid or something. I'm just playing by ear. It could be 100 quid to get your car out of clink, as it were, electronic clink. Even though you're using a service that they provide, they're going to charge you if you spend more than 2 hours in a service station car park. So just be warned. So they really aren't practical at all at any level. What we really need to have is a car that you can go into a service station, they swap out your discharged battery, and they put in a fully charged battery, and away you go again. You don't want to spend more than 15 minutes doing this, and you want a range of about 400 miles. That's what I get in my car. I get 400 miles, and I can do my journey down to my dear old mum in a oneer. But if I had to do it in an electric car, it would take me several hours longer, simply because I'd have to stop and charge. Now, if you don't want to get fined, you're going to have to spend an hour in one charging station, an hour in the next one, and an hour in the third one, and then you can finish your journey. And then you've got to put your car on charge again. Now, what are you going to do? You're going to spend all that time charging at full rate, or are you going to charge your car during the day when the sun's out? Well, that's what I would do. But hopefully, in the next couple of years, we're going to see an improvement to electric car batteries. And I can't see that happening anytime now. There's no investment in it. There's no incentives because they've got the gravy train. And like I said the other day, the lithium mines will not be able to produce enough lithium to supply the demand for EV cars by 2035. And as we've heard recently, Richie Sunak put off the deadline from 2030 to 2035, but he then put in some implemented some government protocols that aren't that pretty good for EV cars. They're trying to make you sell EV cars at a percentage of your car sales, or you'll get fined. So say they sell 100 EV cars, then they're allowed to sell. Sorry, it's the other way around, isn't it? If they sell 100 petrol cars, then they've got to sell maybe 20 EV cars, or they'll get fined, or they'll have to stop selling cars. So I don't know how that's going to go. But yeah, it's not is really not looking good. And of course, we're now hearing that some people are forbidding EV cars on their property simply because they don't trust them. There's a guy in Australia that's saying that some of these facilities are banning EV cars simply because they don't want them catching fire. But anyway, I've rambled on. So that's 5 minutes. Calling it quits. Catch you all on the next one. Bye then.